Y'all know what time it is. It's story time. Story time, y'all. God, this one was real tough, bro. I got a story for y'all, man. This one was really, really tough, man. For the people, before we get started, for the people who are wondering, or sending me emails asking me, do I still work at Stevens? Yes, I'm still here. Yep, I know. Your boy is still here, still getting money, still grinding, still doing it. Something new is I am now a contractor. I know what I said about it. I know I said I wouldn't do it because it's not for me, but I must admit, this thing is really good. The first time I did it, I wasn't a trainer, so it didn't pan out because I wasn't getting the miles that I was, I really wanted. And, these truck payments don't stop. So I'm doing it now because, a little bit long overdue. I should have started a long time. I've been doing it for over a year now. I'm getting close to completing my lease. And, man, it's a 2-year contract. So yeah, I'm loving it. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all, I'm loving it. But yeah, I still work here, so the message is still the same. If you guys want a trainer and want to hit me up on my email, I will leave it in the description so y'all can hit me up so we can line up, because I rather train students who know what I'm about, and they've been watching my videos, I like that, so if you guys are, watching videos about watching videos, tongue twister, about Stevens, and y'all want to come here and y'all want me to train y'all, just shoot me an email and I'll get with the planners over here and we could, line that up. Speaking of students, I got a story for y'all, man. Whew, man. This one was tough, like tough. If y'all watch my previous videos, y'all know I really only ask for two things from my students. Everything else I could deal with. I ask for 2 things. Number 1, don't be lazy. It's hard for me to believe that people can come into a job that requires you to drive long hours, but you don't want to drive long hours. So what's your purpose of, I don't see a purpose in that. That's like you becoming a lifeguard, but when it's time to get into water, you don't want to get into water. How does that make sense? Make it make sense. That's reason number 1. Number 2 is don't be dirty. And I know it's shocking to believe that there are people who come into this industry and they don't want to take showers, they're filthy, people. Like, it happens. It really does happen. Don't be lazy and don't be dirty. I treat this truck like it's my home away from home. I keep it clean, and I expect all my trainees to come in here and do the same. It's already a small space. If one person start funking, the other person gonna smell it because it's a small, tight space. Not only that, when you're dirty and you're sitting in my seat, then I gotta get into the seat that you're sitting in to drive, and now I don't feel comfortable because I'm smelling. Like when I sit down, some of the students, I've sat down after they finish driving and it's my turn to drive. I've sat down and I've smelled their presence in the seat. Like that's very disgusting. All right, I don't like that. So just keep the truck clean and don't be lazy. Those are my 2 things. But this guy right here, man, he was just different. He was different. So I'm listed as a non-smoker. when you come in as a new driver, they ask you, do you smoke or do you not smoke? So they could pair you up with a trainer that smokes or doesn't smoke. A lot of students will lie and say they don't smoke or they do, so just so they could get the fastest trainer available, because they don't want to be sitting here in a hotel doing whatever. They want to hurry up and get this thing over with. So they'll lie and say they don't smoke, and then they get on a non-smoker's truck and start smoking. That happens a lot. It's happened a lot to me, where I've had a student come on my truck and start smoking, and I'm like, shh. Make it make sense, man. That's all I'm saying. So yeah, like I said, non-smoker, smoker. I'm listed as a non-smoker, meaning I don't want a student to come on here smoking. This is kind of difficult, because smoking is just that, smoking. And if you don't smoke, they're gonna put you with a trainer who also doesn't smoke. They need to list people who choose tobacco as smokers. I know it's technically not smoking, but you're chewing it, but still, it's tobacco and you're chewing it. All right. So I had this guy just recently. I just recently put him off the truck. I know it's been the first one in a long ass time. So when he came on my truck, things were good. He was, he was all right. Personality wise, he seemed like he talks a lot, like he just wouldn't shut up, but aside from him just constantly talking, and he was all right. That's all I'm gonna say. So while I was driving, he was sitting in the passenger seat, and while I'm driving, we talking, because he just never shuts up. And while he's talking, I noticed he got a bottle. I thought he was drinking it, but he started spitting in it. He's spitting in the bottle. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, maybe this is just because he's accumulating a lot of spit. Maybe he just wants somewhere to spit it, and because we're driving, he ain't got nowhere to put it. So I'm like, okay, it grossed the hell out of me, but still. So I didn't say nothing to him about it then. So the next day when we were driving, well, he was driving at this point, we stopped and we were shutting down for the day. And while we were doing our post trip, while I was walking with him, showing him the ropes about the post trip and all that, I had to be looking down to watch where I was stepping, because the man spits like 3 times a minute. Like, he just constantly spitting. So I asked him, I was like, bro, you got some medical condition or something? He's like, no, why? So I said, you spit a lot. So he said to me, oh, no, it's just, I got a few dead teeth in my mouth, and I chew tobacco a lot. I'm like, okay, all right. So the next day now, when he was driving, again, he carries around a lot of empty bottles. Like he stacks them, because he came in here with none, and within the second day I noticed he has 3. When he drinks something like a water or whatever, he doesn't throw the bottle away. He keeps it. And now I realize why he was keeping these bottles, because while he's driving, he puts the empty bottle in the cup holder. That's usually reserved for a drink or whatever. He puts it in the cup holder, and while he's driving, he chews his tobacco and he spits it. Like, he just constantly spit, put it down, drive. You know how you would be driving, you got a little drinky there, you drink it every now and then. Picture that, but spit. He takes it up, he spits in it, put it back down, takes it out, spits in it, put it back down. This would happen a lot, and it was just grossing me the hell out, to the point where the spit bottle rose, because he's driving like 8 hours. It rose from empty to about half bottle of spit. Oh my God, it's just grossing me out right now thinking about this shit. A half a bottle of spit. So I eventually said something, because I spoke to a lot of people before I said something to him about it, because it was just making me so uncomfortable and icky. I'm not supposed to feel this uncomfortable on my own truck. I felt so uncomfortable with him doing that. And so I told him, after, you know, they were telling me, yo, you got to say something to this guy, man, because that's disgusting. So I didn't really say anything to him, because, you know, I probably should have, but I didn't really say, you know, you got to stop that. I said to him, instead I said to him, you can't be putting a bottle of spit in my cup holder where I keep my drink. I'm not okay with that. So instead of putting the bottle in the cup holder, he puts it in the door right here. He puts it in the door. So while he's driving, he would be reaching down to get the bottle of spit so he could spit it and then put it back down. And a couple of times while he did that, he would swerve a little bit while he's doing that. You know, when he started swerving, I would look up and I would notice that he was reaching for the spit bottle. And I told him, you can't be doing that. You can't be reaching down like that. That's not safe, you know? So he said to me, well, you don't want me to put it in a cup holder. You don't want me to put it over here. Where the hell am I? You tell me, where the hell am I supposed to put it? So before I even said anything to him, I asked him, yo, are you all right, man? Are you all right? So, you know, he mumbled some crap, and eventually he started putting it back into the cup holder, because I think he was addicted to this shit, because he couldn't stop chewing the tobacco and it made him spit. So he couldn't stop, you know? And that's what started it for us going downhill. Because remember, I told you this was a guy that talks a lot, and because he had a problem with me having a problem with him spitting in a cup, I mean in a bottle, and because that's just disgusting, and he wanted to do it, it caused friction between us. And he would wake up in the morning with an attitude. I couldn't say nothing to him. This man went from talking a lot to wouldn't shut up to it was just awkward silence in the truck, because he had a problem with me, you know, setting the rules and regulations. When he was getting off, he told me that I complained too much. Like, these aren't things that I'm supposed to keep my mouth shut about. You know, that's just disgusting. All right, bro, I'm gonna say something. You feel me? He said I complained a lot. We had one miscommunication where we were leaving a truck stop. Usually when you're taking an exit, you would already be positioned in a way to make the turn. He would wait till the last minute to turn wide so he could turn back the other way. So when he does that, when he's starting to turn the other direction, to turn the opposite direction, I would be thinking he's actually going that way. So I would be like, no, we're going this way. I've done that multiple times, because every time he does it, I'm thinking in my head he's actually turning. Usually I'm already in position before I get to my turn to make it. So we were at a truck stop and we were getting close to the exit, and I noticed he was turning the opposite direction. I was like, no, go straight, because the exit is on the right, but you got to pull up a little bit more to make that right. I didn't know that he was actually just getting in position. So when he's turning, I said, no, go straight, because the exit's up here. But I didn't say the exit's up here, but I know the exit, and I'm assuming he sees the exit up there. So he drove right past the exit and kept going straight. So I was like, no, yo, the exit's right here. So he's like, man, I thought you told me to go straight. I was like, yeah, because I thought you were, you know, turning this way. Yeah, I was just getting input. Like, he started yelling at me. You could tell he had he was just toxic at this point. He didn't want me to say shit to him. He just wanted to just be on. I'm supposed to be here training you, but you have a problem every time I say something to you, you yell at me. It was just, yo, calm down. It's just some miscommunication, my brother. Calm down. It's not that serious. You don't need to be yelling. All right? And from then on, I was like, yeah, I think it's time if anybody has a reason to be upset, it's me. Because I should have put you off the minute I saw you spitting in a bottle. You know, I tried to deal with it as much as I could. I talked to people about it. You know, everybody was telling me, no, bro, you can't do that. But I dealt with it up until it started to get toxic, because he was telling me, he was getting upset at me for having a problem with him spitting in the bottle. You know, and every time I talked about it, I complained about everything. Y'all tell me what y'all would do in this situation, man. Tell me, because apparently I was supposed to keep my mouth shut and let him continuously do this disgusting stuff. All right? Y'all tell me.